conversation. And meanwhile, your kids, your husband, your this, your house. And they decide for you how to behave, how to think, what to buy, what not. So much advertising going there. They tell you, oh, if you're not buying this, you're nothing. Or if you don't. So they decide for you all these things. And intelligent people that we are today, we are slaves to these things. And if you press this button off, you know how much headaches you save to yourself. Just stop it. Stop it. Pay attention to your wife. So talk to her for 3 minutes and pay attention to each other. What's the big deal? He tells him, you don't know. You know something? He tells him, when I was young, I used to go to shul with my grandfather. We used to go on Shabbat and we used to pray shiur, and I loved the music, the melody of shiur. And he started telling him by heart things that he sang when he was young with his grandfather. So he tells him, why do you sing it over here? Don't sing it outside, sing it inside your house. You'll see, you're going to sing it inside your house. You're going to bring a lot of purity, a lot of kedusha inside the house. Don't sing it outside. My wife, she won't understand me. She's going to laugh at me. She's not into religion and she's not respecting it. And he says, try. Fine. Daniel left, and for 3 years he never saw him. After 3 years, he comes to a totally different neighborhood to collect more money. All of a sudden, he sees this guy. Now, this guy was not wearing an earring anymore, didn't have a ponytail anymore, and didn't have his jeans. He had a kippah, he had a beard, he had a tzitzit on, and he's like, Eitan? And he's like, yeah, how did you remember me? And he's like, how did this miracle happen? He says, this shiur that you suggested me. You don't know. I came to the house and we started to fight over a stupid thing. And I said to myself, okay, I'm going to say shiur out loud, like this guy told me. And I started to say it. All of a sudden, my wife became quiet. She was staring at me. She went to her room. And as she comes back, she comes with a notebook. And she was tearing. I asked her, what happened? She tells me, when I was young, in high school, we learned once shiur. And I got so moved by it. I loved it so much. It really touched me. And I copied it with my own handwriting. And from time to time I go and I check my notebook, I look at this, and I want to understand it, and I don't. Now all of a sudden you sang it, and it was really interesting me. So he saw that she is not disrespectful to Judaism like he thought. And the next Friday night he went to shul, he went to pray, and they sang this shiur. And he came home and he said to his wife, let's learn it. I want to understand what exactly it means. So they start to inquire, they start to find out, they start to learn. And slowly, right? Their house changed. The atmosphere in the house became calm. There was peace inside the house. They were not fighting like there was before. This is Ish ve'isha shezachu. If they have the merit, Shechina b'neim, God is there. So, to bring Shechina inside the house, it's not an easy thing. When people see the movies, so she falls in love with him, and he falls in love with her, and they think that they will live happily ever after. Right? We know that it's not easy. We know that it's hard. And it says, there was a cute story about this grocer, that every day he would come home, his wife would tease him. Oh, you don't bring enough money, look at my sister, look at my mother, look at my friend, look at my neighbor. She used to tease him all the time that he doesn't bring money. And he's like, what do you want from me? What do you want me to do? And she tells him, you know something? A lot of merchants, they go to the fair. Okay? They buy a lot of merchandise in a cheap price, and they come and they sell it and they make a profit. Do the same. And by the way, they bring all kind of presents to their wives. I also want some presents. He says, you really want me to do that? She says, yes. So he says, fine. He takes some loans from people and he's going to the fair. As he goes to the fair, first he wants to make his wife happy. So he goes and he buys her some things. He bought her a mink coat. He bought her a nice necklace. He bought her some stuff. And then later on, he came home and he gives his wife all the presents and she's so happy. And she's like, and where's the merchandise? He said, I didn't have enough money to do merchandise anymore. She's like, so what did you do? How are you going to pay back, all the debts? We took loans. What were you going to do? He's like, what do you want from me? You wanted me to go to the fair and buy you presents. That's what I did. She says, but presents are secondary. The main thing is that you're going to buy merchandise. We're going to make profit. Then comes the gift. A lot of people, they think that by the way that they're going to get married, by being married, you'll get a lot of presents. Yeah, she gets presents as she gets married. She gets jewelry, she gets new home, she gets new car, he gets a new wife, beautiful woman, and whatever. They get gifts, but to get the happiness within the marriage, you have to work with it. It's not easy. To have peace in the house. You have to work very hard to get that peace. Alex and Marina, they lived together for 8 years. In the beginning, everything was normal, everything was fine. They were happy with each other. The last few months, though, he met this girl that used to work in his office. And he got very much attracted to her. And all of a sudden, his wife, she's not important anymore. She's not interested in her anymore. And he doesn't know what to do with himself. They have one boy, 6-year-old. The house is okay, the family, everything is fine, but he is not interested in his wife at all. He doesn't know what to do. He goes to the rabbi and he asks for advice. Rabbi, what should I do? The rabbi says that his problem is that he doesn't pay attention to his wife and doesn't appreciate her really. So to the wife he'll give some advices, but to him he told him, you know something, we can continue and progress. If you want, we can speak about divorce or whatever, but let's now, for a whole month, I want you to prepare and to invest. Make a nice dinner to her every day. Then after a month, come to me. Okay. So he was never in the kitchen. Really, his wife used to do everything in the house. She used to clean, she used to cook, she used to do homework with their son, she used to buy things. So he doesn't know where this pot is and where this spice is and where this... So he opens books and he tries to find out what to cook. The first day was awkward because he didn't really find himself in the kitchen. Second day, he already found his way. He knew where this is, he knew where that is. Third day, he started to enjoy creating and cooking and doing stuff. Fourth day, he tries to see what he can add. What would his wife like? And which spices she likes, which vegetables or what type of food she likes. He starts to think about what would she enjoy, right? And after a time, he opens books, he tries to make more, find more recipes, more this. 2 weeks later, he tries to add music. Maybe music in the background will make it even more slowly. He realized that, I mean, it took him time to understand the wisdom of this rabbi. All of a sudden, this 1 hour that he sits and he eats with his wife, he was waiting for that time. It was so precious. Once we know that once you give from yourself, this is when love comes. He started to give. Till that time, his wife always gave. He didn't pay attention. Now, he gives he invests, he tries. All of a sudden, it's very important what she thinks about the food and the time that they spend with each other. His son was delighted, this quality time that they spent together. In the end of that month, that guy didn't need to go to the rabbi anymore. All of a sudden, he found happiness within himself, within his home. He thought happiness would be in the office, with other women, with this, with that. All of a sudden, he started appreciating his wife again. This is how we bring Shekhinah. This is how we bring the presence of Hashem inside our home, by giving, by caring, by thinking, okay, about caring about his materialistic needs, whatever he needs, okay? So hopefully, with caring about other people, with caring about our husbands and people at home, we will bring the Shekhinah, and Hashem will bring the Shekhinah from heaven with the third temple, and it will stay with us, Bezat Hashem.
Amen.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any question?